region.
Even though we did see Lulu, I think that was yesterday.
Yes.
But yeah, not in this region, not in this meta, not in this year. Maybe later on we'll have to wait and see how the game changes. But so Alistar will come in, and yeah, I kind of like the Senna Tom Kent's response to the Tristana more than just like sheepishly picking Kai'Sa Alistar and trying to make it work. So especially because it's Ghost. I mean, the guy is a pretty insane Senna player, and kind of surprised actually that KT left that available for them.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, to draft around this team. You don't want to give first pick Udyr or Hecarim over to Canyon, you know? I mean, that would be even worse, arguably. So it's a really tough time with all of the champions that Damwon Kia can play at a high level in this meta. Nara's banned here. I think there's a decent chance we see the ban on Gragas, additionally, here from Damwon Kia. You could see the tone has changed with this Nidalee draft because the Senna is pointing towards late game scaling. So you don't see the priority on the Renekton bans here for KT Rolster because they know it's very unlikely that Khan will play it in this case because the pairing isn't as strong for how the late game is going to be played. Yone ban against Dove here. Very strong pick with the Lilia. I like it.
Yeah, and he does have one win on the pick so far. Note that they didn't focus on the Renekton at all.
Yeah, that's what I was
with the Nidalee that's available. So either you're blind picking it here, or you're just saying, okay, Renekton Nidalee into us 3 times in a row, and we're just okay with that. So they're going to take it away here.
Yeah, I'm okay with leaving the Renekton open into Damwon Kia's draft because of how it functions, but they take it themselves, as you mentioned, and the response is well prepared. Appears to be a Gangplank response, which we've seen actually in round 1. We saw a lot of this matchup. Haven't seen it as much recently. Will come through here. Something Khan is very proficient on. And the Azir kind of just rounds it out here. Very powerful early game for Damwon Kia, or rather stable early game, I should say. More than powerful. That's going to allow them to scale super well.
The scaling is just ridiculous, right? It's lanes that do well and blind picks that can survive. I think it's kind of what you're getting at.
Exactly.
Sure. And this does give an option for Dove to maybe, you know, throw caution to the wind and pick something a bit more aggressive.
Rise.
I thought maybe Illusion, but you know. Rise is going to come in, and again, another thing that we don't really get to see that often nowadays.
Yeah, I'm really curious how Azir will build against this. With the magic damage between Lilia and Rise, you might just see an early Verdant Barrier just to be really safe and just kind of chill. I mean, not that Azir is going to struggle into the Rise matchup with Lilia there, so feels very stable, you know? This Rise pick is going to give you a lot of power in terms of how you can engage later on in the game with his ultimate, and will make the Renekton pick feel a little bit less bad later on just for gap closing. But the execution of this is so complicated that I'm not entirely sure if KT is going to be able to pull this off. And the scaling is just so amazing for Damwon Kia later on, especially with the with the Gangplank addition to what's already Azir, Senna, Tom Kench. I feel like this one is KT a little bit out of their depth in terms of how difficult this is going to be to pull off. It will be very impressive. I mean, this will definitely be a very memorable KT Rolster game, just like Game 1, if they can make it happen.
Yeah, and the thing about the Rise pick as well, it's like, you know, you're kind of fighting fire with fire. You're adding a lot of scaling, but his range is not very good, and you're fighting against Azir, Senna, and barrels.
Nidalee's
Spears.
poke, yeah.
I'm just not really liking the Rise, to be honest. You're already struggling a little bit with the range, with the Renekton up on the top side, so we'll see. Definitely like Damwon Kia's here a little bit more as we do enter game number 3 and go back onto the Rift. Match 87. We're so close to the playoffs. Just today and tomorrow, and then we're just right there. And you know, the first day of the playoffs is on Wednesday. So we even get into playoffs a day earlier than your normal LCK schedule.
Yeah, so get ready for that. Tell your friends. Don't be late.
I think the first matchup is Hanwha Life up against the 6th place team.
That's right. We will determine that tomorrow, or today, potentially, depending on how that second series goes in this game. Not going to get too into it. So there's a very small chance Sandbox is eliminated today. We just know. But very likely to be decided tomorrow.
I mean, if Nongshim win, then they just get the spot, right?
I think they have to 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. But we have like we have a crazy graph.
Well, we didn't want to get into this, but I'm actually gonna revisit my sheet.
Because Nongshim originally were supposed to win 2-0 this week to be guaranteed, but they lost. So to KT Rolster, so that kind of threw a wrench in everything. I'm not like actually when I did
if Nongshim win at all,
if they win at
with
all,
a DK 2-1 victory, let's say, if Nongshim win at all, they secure playoffs, 100%.
But if it's a KT victory,
if it's a KT victory in a 2-1, then Nongshim need to win in some way. If they win 2-1, it's a tiebreaker. If they win 2-0, then they get it.
Okay. So like I said, it's not KT haven't lost yet, Valdez. Okay, it's not 100% guaranteed.
True,
unless KT lose this, in which case it could be 100% guaranteed, but it's not until we get there.
Yeah.
All right.
The only way that it's not 100% guaranteed after today is if KT lose and Nongshim lose. They both need to lose, then it gives Liv Sandbox a chance, and then we will have our playoffs decided only after the final game of the regular season, match 90, where Liv Sandbox face off against DRX.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's decided today.
That's right. And, when you and I cast Pro League together, I usually left these to you, too.
True.
1-8 this matchup. I want to say actually Doran beat Morgan in the 1 this year. I actually think that happened. It was like a crazy game where there was that pause, if you remember. That was very memorable to me. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I'm pulling through my neurons. I think that was the matchup, but
we definitely have a lot more Gangplanks versus Renekton's and a lot more pauses, as we are going to force the exhaust out of Barrel here in the trade. Just wants to be safe, right? You don't want to take any chances. Later on, you'll start scaling and having a really fun time with this duo. But for now, as long as you don't die, you're sitting pretty as Senna Kench.
Yeah, it's very oppressive too, because Sparrow can just constantly Yoshi tongue you like nonstop, and it's really frustrating to yeah, it's really frustrating to lane against. And because of Senna's pretty crazy range, she just constantly harasses, and she doesn't have to worry about farming whatsoever. So just kind of able to even potentially threaten those chains by standing to the side of the minion wave. Fasting Senna is something that is one of the coolest and most unique things that we have in terms of bot lane in League of Legends, and I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of want to bring Ziggs back. I know a lot of people weren't fans of the awesome dudes meta, right? Where it wasn't exactly 80 carries, but they played in the 80 carry role, so Papa gave them the name Awesome Dudes. And they were, we had a lot of them. We had, like, Morgana was played a bunch. We had Ziggs. Vladimir was played. I think even Syndra and Cassiopeia. A lot of those kind of scaling AP carries began to visit down there, but we didn't really get that too often.
I see Dove has a pretty good win rate on the rise, 7-2 in the LCK. Just to point out that he's well versed on the champion and has a history of playing it.
It's great KDA actually, 7.1.
Yeah. So just goes to show that, it's not always about the comp and the matchup, but sometimes it's about what you feel comfortable with in awkward situations like this in draft.
You can't always just 100% force the best draft.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, I think we can agree about Gideon's Hecarim. It's one of those cases. Just hold that thought.
Yeah, remember that he has Devour, but they're waiting for this, trying to wait through the stun, and yes, he's going to have to use it on Barrel, and now Noah's on the wrong side of the fight. It seems like they don't have a lot of experience playing against Senna Kench.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because it was super obvious. Like, especially even if you don't know, like even if you're not familiar, when you see the way that Barrel stands there, like I think you trust that they know that you're gonna die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think Barrel and Ghost don't know what they're doing there? You're like, no, I think we win this. No, I don't think you do. Like, That was kind of odd, unfortunately, for Noah here. And I mean, look, because of the bullying, like
Zeus started it, you know?
Yeah, true. But I mean,
not to point fingers. Even
sure,
though I did exactly that just now. But
but I mean, like, look at the difference in terms of the farm. You know, Tom Kench early on it gets his farm very freely. It's pretty easy when your Senna is harassing, but so much CS has been lost actually from Noah in these scenarios. So yeah, Zeus starts it here, but when the Devour comes off, like Noah goes left here.
Wait.
Yeah, waits, stun comes out.
Has to hit Kench.
And then, like, stun or no here, I mean, I think you just need to leave if you're Noah in this case.
Yeah.
Even if you get the stun onto the Senna, I don't think you win that exchange. Dodge the turret shot there.
Yeah, that's it's not one that they're going to want to remember. They will keep it in mind, though, for this. They're like, oh yeah, that catfish guy, he's got that Devour ability. Should keep that in mind. This is a lot of pressure up in the top side. Khan getting hounded by the Renekton with the Dominus. He is going to have to probably leave the lane. Doesn't know. He knows Lilia isn't here, but he's still going to have to use his ultimate to clear the wave.
Yeah, that feels bad. I mean, I think he got it. I saw a little gold fly. Got it. I didn't look at the number. Saw a little coins flicker there for a second. I believe he did get it. So.
Probably got it there.
Still feels bad that you have to use your ult like that. Because you're not going to have any presence if, we see Gideon rotate over with this lane prio onto the Drake. Which they're not going to do at the moment. In fact, Gideon is getting zoned out by Canyon yet again in his own jungle. This is why I don't like the Lilia here, because you're so fragile. And, you can't really continue to fight long-term against something like in Italy.
Oh, this is, okay, he's going to have to flash, I would imagine. He's trying to avoid it. There it is. Comes in. The last auto gets him down. And, yeah, now you're TPing, but there's no Dominus available. So
no Dominus.
Exhaust here for the Kents. They can turn this around.
Yeah, this is so bad here for KT Rolster.
Wishing he's playing in 2019 when you could cancel teleports. This is, yeah, just going to get ulted. Big scratch to the head there from Noah tells the entire story. This bottom lane is just over.
I mean, it was such a good start for Noah, in this series. And then game 2, wasn't playing on even footing, had some problems there. And then in his third game, 2 critical errors of judgment from not just Noah, but from the KT Rolster squad as a whole end up coming back to bite you. I mean, when Zeus goes in with the headbutt there, I think you probably think, well, I'm going to take only one L here. And I'm actually going to go through. I want to watch the replay and see when the teleport comes through exactly, because if Doran was coming through before the headbutt, which I don't think was the case based on when he arrived, then it feels like, okay, well, this is kind of an attempted teleport gank situation where it was kind of a little bit premeditated. But in this case,
this is crazy.
It's rough, man.
Oh, man. The amount of value that they just gave away with this play is staggering.
Okay, look.
3 plates for Gangplank in the top lane.
Teleport is not used before. It's not even close. I can't believe I even remembered to consider it. Teleport comes in after he dies. So this is just poor decision making.
He's watching too. It's not like he's trading with Gangplank. He's sitting there waiting and watching.
And part of the reason why this Tom Kench is so powerful with the Senna, not just because of the stable lane, is that you can set up these chains really easily with the slow that you're going to get from the lick. Really nice ult there to finish it off because he's between turret and wall, so impossible to dodge.
다 빨아줄게. 1세트에 복수를 해준다.
Getting revenge for game 1.
Yeah.
And, it is a very, very tough spot for KT right now.
Instant teleport response as they're trying to get on top of Showmaker, as he's having a little bit of trouble, and actually does a nice job, but Gideon is going to go down in the end. Ends up being a 1-for-1 for now. They're sticking around, but Khan very smartly holding the wave. It's going to make it really difficult for KT to continue to dive, and they will, in fact, not. As Canyon, generally we say no bullying, but I suppose, as Ghost mentioned, they're just getting revenge for game number 1, so all's fair. in war here, at least, as they're going to push and take down the turret at 11 minutes.
You know, in game one, at least it was often trades in the bottom side for Ghost versus Noah, but in this case, it is just purely one-sided. And Khan really pushing the envelope here. He had his oranges. So not going to get scurvy, but
Doran?
Wow.
This is
kind of sloppy game.
This is reminding me of Live Sandbox yesterday in the second game where they just totally fell apart. Like, nothing is going right for KT now.
So many teams, I think, show their hold it.
Well, maybe Khan overstepped his boundaries. KT wait long enough as he's trying to trade it back, but he might still get that kill. No, not quite gonna be it, as Senna will also miss.
But so many teams, Valdez, you know, in these high-pressure situations do show their lack of experience in them, because so many of these players, a lot of the rookie players you have in the LCK have never played. First of all, some of them have never played on stage before, never played before a crowd, but none of them have ever played in a, or some of them have never played in a must-win game all season long. It's regular season, right? You know, you always think you can turn it around, but when you get to the very end, where playoff implications are on the line, and if you lose, like, your season is over, I think that's when sometimes you see the cracks start to show for some of these players. See, only Dove is actually in a gold lead at the moment, but it is very slight.
Yeah, even the Senna is miles ahead of the Tristana at this point, which generally doesn't happen if it's an even lane. As, okay, at least he got the blue buff, so Dove is the one guy feeling okay on his team, I suppose, but you know, everything's being taken as we speak, right? Canyon owns the jungle once again here. Noah can barely lane.
If he gets caught by chains, I was really worried for a second there. How far pushed up he was. He would definitely be a dead Tristana. So we're going to watch this exchange one more time. You know, it ends up being pretty extended. The teleport is coming through from very far away from Dove, or rather from very close by, because he just needs to be here as soon as possible. Emperor's Divide is good, and you know, you can't get out of that turret shot if you're Gideon, so it ends up being a trade back, and then I don't know if we'll see the second part of this. We will.
Khan has Essence.
He has Essence Reaver.
Okay, against Spellblade. Plated steel caps.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that's just where we're at right now.
Okay, then he stays too long, wants to clear this wave, and he gets punished for it. Yeah, a little bit of greed.
Should have just, you know, let the cannon wave do its thing, sit there. But instead, he got a bit greedy.
I mean, this game is going to be Ghost's playhouse. He's very excited to hit some auto attacks this game. He's starting to get a little bit revved up. 3-0 already has his very early Kraken Slayer. You know, Rageblade not going to be too far behind, you have to imagine, with all the extra gold he has from those kills. The turret he got in mid, turret plate gold that he has on top of it all. It is looking very good here for Damwon Kia to close out what was a very rough start to the series, kind of an awkward blemish on an otherwise great 15-2 season. Hoping to finish it with a 16-2. And KT Rolster's comp, you know, doesn't have a lot of comeback power here later on because of Lilia is 0-1-2. You know, the Noah's Tristana is 0-2 and significantly behind in farm into a Tom Kench Senna lane.
Yeah. And again, you might see Dove and think, oh, okay, well, we've got a Ryze who's scaling. But again, it's kind of what I mentioned in the draft. It's like, what is he going to be able to do against all of this range and alone? You know, if he had a Tristana, maybe, but not at this point. As Gideon desperately trying to get something going here, he's going to take a lot of damage. They're trying to burst down Peril, but take a look at that shield. Just way too giant with the gray health coming through, and the Senna ultimate. It is enough, and Ghost just laughs at Ryze. Senna just has her way with Ryze whenever she wants, as you guys can see here.
Coming in.
Yeah, looking for the extra kill. That's just insult to injury there, as Dorn will get caught once again. And yes, Damwon Kia, they're taking this game.
Yep. No, it's over, probably. And, you know, 1,600 gold from turret plates alone. the full 5 plates go to Ghost on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah.
3 of those go to Khan, again, who struggled early on, who's able to completely flip it before 14 minutes to collect that extra gold. And, I mean, it was not even like a locket for Barrel on the bottom side of the map or anything, you know? He's playing the actual farm part of the fasting Senna, and he's just sitting pretty. He didn't even have any extra shields. He just was super tanky at this stage. He already has his Sunfire done, and like, what are you gonna do if you're KT in this situation? Gideon tries to make a super play, as we call it here in Korea, looking for the flash, triple sleep, only hits 1 of the 3. If he hits all 3, this looks very different. But unfortunately, there's just enough damage from Canyon and Ghost to push through while Barrel tanks it up. And he just, you know, unfortunately misjudges his Q's range. Because if he does hit all 3 and hits the sleep, it's a very different situation. And Doran's just unable to escape, comes in very late. And again, it's not 100% KT is out if they lose this, but their chances go down very significantly.
Yep, they just gotta hope that Nongshim don't win the second series.
Yeah, and even then, it's not 100%, but it becomes more likely, I guess. This is a very sad end to this game, I think.
Yeah.
KT, like, they're 8,000 gold behind into a comp that scales way better. Yeah. So, like, we don't even have to talk about the scaling because the scaling happened before it's supposed to.
Yeah. This is, again, this kind of the fun playhouse for the Senna, but not only the Senna, pretty much all of the pieces here of this comp, as that spear almost hit him through the minions.
Yeah, no, with some fancy footwork.
Oh! Zeus is getting angry, but that's a really nice little devour there. So, Barrel's just gonna kind of laugh at them. As you mentioned, he's so tanky at this point that, like, he basically can do whatever he wants. And that includes, okay, yeah, we're just going to kill Zeus, no problem. Canyon's still angry after game number 1, I suppose.
He wasn't even standing next to the inhibitor. That's kind of inexcusable.
Oh, okay, well, at least...
It's called Flash. Khan's actually going to ult the bottom here.
Yep. You know, this is the time in the game where it just becomes, you know...
There's no turret, and he's got a Vampiric Scepter. I think he wins this. Meanwhile...
Yeah, everybody's going to sleep. That's definitely feels that way. Khan is getting some speed boosts.
Oh, the plant comes up.
Ooh! Ring around the rosy.
He's going to get one more.
He's going to... Yeah, he'll...
Oh, he got him.
Okay. Boop. Hits him down. Flashes the world's emote. Tells him to sit right back down.
Yeah. Well, Valdez, this one is all over but the crying.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to cry after this. It's not that kind of game, but that's just the saying.
Yeah, for some reason yesterday it felt a little bit more sad. Maybe it's because both games they kind of collapsed, Live Sandbox, but...
Yeah, I mean, KT had one really good game of the 3. The second game was a bit of an issue. Khan does not have vision.
Is this their chance? Is this their moment?
No. Feels bad. But yeah, I think there's the feeling is definitely different because Sandbox played so below what we know they're capable of yesterday, whereas KT Rolster are in a position where we know how well they can play today. Or, you know, today we know how well they played earlier today, but also how well they played over the past few weeks. So it feels like there was an opportunity for KT to really, change the narrative here and make playoffs. And like we were at a near miracle situation, right? So.
And we're just, I guess, with not much else happening in this game, we're just gonna watch this entire exchange.
Yeah, we already saw this one in slow motion, so. We already lived this one at half speed. And we're gonna watch it at full speed now, the same way. Like, it was the same exact speed. There's nothing special about this replay. Literally watched him die a second time.
The Damwon skins should be coming out soon.
Yeah, actually.
Thought about that with the world's emote. I don't know exactly when that is. They're just face tanking the turret.
We're gonna be getting a lot of DMs soon now, Valdez. You mentioned this. Like, everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, like, please give me more details.
I don't know. I
seems
think
to
it was
know the exact
discussed
date.
publicly. I don't have any exact dates or patches or anything like that. But it should be soon. I mean, you know, usually at the end of spring, around that time, the world skins do come out. So,
You know,
I would imagine they're doing the same this year.
well, I was going to say something else about that, but I don't know if we have enough time because it looks like this game is about wrapped up.
Oh, is Beryl going to die? Is this the moment where they kill the Tom Kent? No, not the time. Doran is going to run away here and not be able to get away. Sleep will come in, and in typical Damwon Kia fashion, they're going to try to clean up everybody before they do take down the Nexus. Ooh, nice play here, actually, but Tom Kent exists. He does get the stun, though, and they actually kill her. Nicely done. Gonna take down Ghost. Actually does take his first death of the game by doing that. As Gideon, in a kind of desperate manner.
One more chance,
minions.
Gideon.
Yeah, they're gonna...
Against the world, by himself.
Yeah. See ya. That's gonna go to Canyon, 5-0 and 3. He didn't die.
He dodged the spear, Valdez.
He did. Oh, there's more kills, guys. Don't kill a Nexus. Oh my god, they're actually doing it. They're actually thinking about getting in here. Canyon, they're gonna let him die. They're not gonna kill the Nexus, but he will flash away, and he will be